Hello YouTube, I have something to show you today, and I know you've seen this before. This is my PVC Manchu Bow. All PVC, puffed siyahs near the bottom, very flattened near the tip. That leaves a little bit of instability. Creates a little bit of instability in the bow. It draws very nicely, however, tip mass is extraordinarily high. And the higher the mass near the ends, typically the greater the shock. Because all that energy has to go somewhere if it's not being efficiently transferred into an arrow. If it's being transferred into an arrow, well, then you shouldn't get too much hand shock. But if there's a lot of energy left to vibrate the bow, well, it's got to go somewhere. So, there are a few problems. Like I said, flexing and energy. Both of those problems can be addressed by my new project, which is a lot like the first, except with wood siyahs. The poplar is extraordinarily light compared to the PVC, so that takes care of a little bit of the hand shock problem. I imagine that there's still a lot of mass and energy in this portion, the outer half of the bending limb, but all the same, it should be less. And the other thing is, it's rigid. It's not going to flop over. If it bends too much, it'll just shatter. I mean, not that I think that's going to happen. These look dramatically overbuilt to me, if anything. In the main bending plane, these are thicker than almost any limb that I've created. So, take that for what it's worth, and I think we're going to be in good shape. This is the exact same string, I just shortened it by a bit. In reality, I should make a new string that's shorter to keep some nice long loops. Traditionally, the loops would be long enough to fit from here to the end. The bow's a little bit short for a genuine Manchu bow, but I'm trying to channel more of the spirit than the actual bow itself. I do have some longer pieces of 1-inch pipe. Maybe I'll use 1 1/4-inch pipe to make a real genuine war weight Manchu bow. That would be pretty cool. Alright, there we go. From one side to the other, fairly even tiller, looks pretty darn good to me. Before I had these areas fairly pinched off because I had them angled forward so much. Now they're still angled forward, but I puffed it up enough so that it's not going to collapse there. That was my primary fear before. The brace height is, yeah, let's call it 6 inches. Just a shade under 6 inches. Here we go. It's surprisingly heavy. Just to 20 inches now. 36 pounds at 20 inches. Okay, that's a little bit more than I expected. Just drawing it by hand, this felt like a very light bow. Okay. £40 at 22. Just picking up about 2 pounds an inch. However, that will change as the string angle increases. .43 at 24 inches. 26 is 48. Always near the end of these draws, I get nervous because I look at it and from this angle it looks like it's about to fall apart, explode, collapse, something, and it just makes me terribly nervous. Because you grow attached to these bows. You start to I don't know, project onto them. Treat them almost like they're people, maybe. And I just think if it were a person, it wouldn't like being bent like that. Silly, I know. Just over 51 pounds at 27 inches. I'm going to rebalance this a little. Just there we go. Let's just make sure I'm pulling dead center for the final 28 inch. So it just looked like that limb was bending more than this limb. That looks better. $52 and change. I'm not sure exactly what that was. Let's try it again. This time I'll try and read it exactly. $52, 10 ounces. All right. Well, now we have an idea that this bow is not going to fail, at least if I draw it carefully. Looks to me like the bottom limb, this limb, is a little bit stronger. So, okay. Read from top to bottom, and that puts the upper limb hit there. It has a nice, even draw. What I mean is, from start to finish, the draw weight doesn't seem to get appreciably lighter, heavier. Doesn't seem to change very much. You get the first few inches, of course, when you're pulling without too much mechanical advantage, but it lifts off almost immediately. I'd really like to have a little bit more reflex here and strain the bow a little bit more, but I'm not sure how much strain we can put it under, really, before the bow explodes and doesn't take it. This is really nice. I really, really like it. And I can't wait to get outside and test it and shoot it and show you guys. Thanks for watching, YouTube.